Hello, lovely people. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Messages from Medicine. Um, Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Because as much as I deliver these messages from Spirit, I also learn a great deal. Each time I get a new revelation of what we're going to talk about, it leads me deeper into understanding of who we really are and what we're really doing here. And there's no better subject to talk about with those kind of questions than the light. And today we're going to talk about the light. But first, what I want to really ask is that when you listen to these are really sacred messages. These are sacred messages from Spirit. And so in that way, I don't really want, I really like to ask that you don't listen to this when you're in the middle of maybe shopping in the supermarket, that maybe you give yourself this time and this space that you can be somewhere that's peaceful, maybe in your garden, maybe in your home, maybe even if it's in the car, but somewhere that you got some space and some time that you can allow yourself to really listen to these words, to the vibration, to really allow that into your heart, into your mind, to really feel these messages. So today we're going to do things a little different. We're going to start with creating a space, and we're going to listen to, I'm going to ask that you listen to this message from that space. So the first thing I'm going to do is get you to take your two fingers and draw around you a circle. This is your space. This is you honoring Spirit. This is you honoring yourself in this moment, to allow yourself this space and this time to listen to this vibration, to listen to this message. And now I'm going to ask that now we're going to take 3 long breaths, and I'm going to ask that you close your eyes, you really open your heart, and you breathe in through your nose really long, slow and deep. In through your lungs into your heart, hold for 1 second and breathe out through your mouth. And again, in through your nose, hold for 1 second and out through your mouth. In through your nose, through your lungs, into your heart. Hold for 1 second and out through your mouth. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Welcome to Messages from Medicine. Welcome to understanding the light. Because the light transcends. The light, when I asked Spirit about the light, she showed me a beam of light from the beginning of time, to really understand the light in a non-linear way. Because sometimes we pray and we bring down over us this beam of light, and we say, shower us with light and protection from that light. Or maybe we grow it from inside and we say, let me grow my light from inside my heart around me. And these are good understandings of the light, but they're very linear. We got to understand the light in a much broader aspect. And that's where the word transcendence comes from. When you start to understand transcendence, you start to understand really the beginning of time, when the Creator had the thought, and with that thought came an energy, and with that energy came creation, and the code that was inside creation, the code with which everything was created, was the light. When we are in a space where our mind is closed, our heart is closed, then we are just being a physical essence of what we can be. When all of that is open, we allow our light really to connect to our soul to connect to the Creator, and that light that allows us to go back to the beginning of creation. And that allows us to transcend. That light through you comes from that place, and then it can transcend. It can transcend through everything you do. You carry the light because you have to remember you're created from it. Just like when creation carried that light and created the earth, the seas, the moon, the stars, the sun, the trees, the plants, the birds, all the animals, the mountains, the resonance, the frequency of this earth, it carries the vibration of light through it. You are also carrying the same because you are made of the same thing. You are made of this light. When you start to understand the light this way, it plays a much bigger role in your life. It plays a much bigger vibration through everything you do. And it transcends through everything you do. It infects everything you do. To understand when we make a sandwich, we carry this light through it. That's why when some people make food, it tastes really good, and it can be the simplest of things. When some people make food, maybe it doesn't taste so good. We're going to talk about that later. But first we're going to start to talk about... So now you're starting to understand. But first we're going to start to talk about the light and its opposite. And before we do that, now you're starting to understand the light in a much broader aspect. And so when we start to vibrate and start to really allow this kind of light to flow through us in a really, the vibration of it, what are we pushing out? So then we got to start to understand the opposite of the light. So what's the opposite of light? Because a lot of you saying right now, well, the opposite of light is darkness. And I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Because using the word darkness, we got to be really careful. Because we're given a blanket cover over a whole bunch of stuff that is hiding underneath it. And I don't like to give that anonymity to things. I like to take the cover off things so we can see what's really going on. Because underneath that cover of darkness are words like fear, hate, anger, frustration, greed, insecurity. These are really the understandings of the opposite of the light. When we say things like darkness, we're really doing a disservice to the light. We're doing a disservice to ourselves, because it's almost like we're bringing an understanding of a denial. We don't need to, we can just wrap everything up with saying, well, it's darkness. Well, it's not true, because when you switch your lights off at night and you go to bed, you're traveling through darkness to get to your bed. And in that way, then you should be getting claw marks, or be really scared, or be running, or make sure you got a flashlight on, or make sure you got a candle in your hand. You are going to be afraid of the darkness. So we got to be careful what we're giving our energy to. We can't be giving our energy to words like darkness is the opposite of light. No, it isn't. Fear, hate, anger, frustration, greed, insecurity, all of these are all the opposites of the light. It's really important not to give energy to the word darkness. In a way, we start to really create something there that doesn't need to be. When we start to really be open and say and talk about things how they really are, then we can start to uncover not just what's really going on, but maybe how it got there, and start looking at the root causes of these things. I went through a medicine ceremony in Peru. I did a diet. I did plenty of dieters out in Peru, in South America, and part of those dieters is understanding the light in a much more deeper way. In a way, I'm going to share with you. A dieter is when you have one meal a day. You have rice and lentils. it's food with no personality. So it doesn't really carry a vibration as such. No salt, no sugar, no juice, no anything. One meal a day, just a small bowl. And as your stomach shrinks, that bowl of rice and lentils gets smaller and smaller and smaller over 30 days. And the only other thing you have is water. And the only other thing you have apart from that one meal a day is a concoction of a particular plant, a macerated plant. Sometimes it's boiled, sometimes it's grated, sometimes it's smashed down, sometimes it's cooked. And you drink a little shot of this particular plant. And there's certain master plants that you diet. And each one has a particular vibration. And you drink this over a few days. And as you drink it, it starts to resonate inside you. The vibration of that plant starts to resonate. Some of these plants make you really sweat. They make you angry. They make you frustrated. They make you really... and you're in solitary confinement. You aren't speaking to anybody. You aren't reading a book. You haven't got your mobile phone. You haven't got anything. You're just in complete nature. You've got only yourself. And so you really feeling what's going on inside you. And these plants start to resonate inside you. They start to flood your body with their light. And with that light is a vibration. And with that vibration, that light starts to come out all the other stuff that doesn't need to be inside you, what we call the darkness. But it's really an understanding of all the anger or the hate or the insecurity or deeper emotions that we hold inside us that sometimes we can't get access to. These plants give us this access through their light. It's a really beautiful way of understanding the light. It's a really beautiful way of understanding the power of plant medicine this way, that it helps us to access those deeper parts of us that we can't always get to. And so understanding the light this way, you start to understand that darkness is not a word to be used, but to be more direct and say, maybe there's an insecurity in here I need to start to reconcile. It starts to help you, the light starts to help you this way to identify the roots of problems, of issues, of traumas that maybe we hold inside us. It's a really beautiful way to start to understand the light, the essence of the light. And in this way, we don't give ourselves or the light a disservice. We start to become all-encompassing of the light this way. So in this way, it's also really, really important that to understand when we talked about at the beginning of this creation and that the light was inside that creation, that it's in everything that is around us, including us. Everything is emitting a vibration of this light, and some things aren't. So we have to be careful. Like the food we eat, we got to start to understand the light carries in the food we eat. So we got to eat really fresh food. We got to eat fresh fruit. We got to eat fresh vegetables. And before you eat that food, I always say a prayer. I always say in the name of the Creator before I eat that food. In that way, I honor the food I eat, but also it's an exchange of light. I honor that food and it honors me. And I give it light and it gives me light. And as I eat that, it manifests. That light manifests inside me. And then I am a vibration of that. Same way that we listen to music. When we listen to music, we got to be careful because we listen to music that expresses pain really well. And we got to be careful with that, because there's a lot of music out there that's like, oh, he left me, or she left me, and now I'm in pain. Now what am I gonna do? And now I can't seem to get out of this, and it's all your fault, and you made me really angry and frustrated, and I'm really blah blah blah. And we got to be careful with music this way, because music has the capacity to carry light. And in medicine ceremonies, this is why in medicine ceremonies, shamans sing, because they know that that vibration of the singing carries light. When you're connected to consciousness, when your heart is open, when you are connected to that light of yourself, and that light of yourself is connected to the light of consciousness, it carries through every vibration of you. And as you start to sing, it's a vibration, and it carries that light, and it'll carry it into people. So when you listen to music, it's really important that you listen to really good music, music that talks about love in a really beautiful way. If it's electronic music, you got to be careful, because a lot of electronic music carries a lower vibration that holds you down. It's not uplifting. So you got to play music that's really uplifting, that carries a light, that connects you to consciousness. So in this way, we start to understand we're going to be careful with the music we listen to. We're going to be careful with the food we eat. We can't really be going around eating a lot of processed food. We got to eat a lot of fresh vegetables and fruit in their simplest form. It's a really good thing to do. It's taught me a lot since I got these messages from medicine, especially about the light, about the food I eat, because I like salt and vinegar crisps. And now I stopped eating them, because I know that kind of food is processed. It's not carrying a vibration of light in it, and it's not honoring my body. I gotta start to honor my body and myself a lot better, in a lot better way, in a way that is the way of the light. So, and to understand food, music, everything carries light, so do you. So you have to always be really connected, because as that music lifts your soul, because it carries a light, as the food you eat carries a light and lifts your vibration, so do you. And you have to make sure that you're connected to the light, so that you carry that vibration. You emit that vibration of light out everywhere. And if you're not emitting that vibration of light, then what is it that you're emitting? Because it's not a case of, well, I'm not emitting that right now, so I'm just not emitting anything. No, you are. If you're not emitting that vibration of light, then what is it you're emitting? So we have to be careful of the opposites of the light. In this way, also to understand, we're now understanding the magic of food, the magic of music, but also to understand the magic of maybe just a candle. A candle emits a light. To understand also that a candle, in a way that it's heat and a light. And if you really think about this, then think about the sun, because as the creation, as the world was created, so were the stars, so were the planets, so was the moon, so was the sun. And when we start to think about the light this way, then we can start to understand the sun in a completely different way. Because the sun is not just a ball of fire, that much energy and that much light in one concentration. It comes with a consciousness. The sun is a consciousness. And so this is why you have things like a sun dance. This is why people understand the moon as a mother, as a nurturing, as an energy of change, because she carries a light. She carries a vibration of light that affects us. So does the sun. The sun carries a vibration of heat and light that transcends. It transcends not just onto our skin, but through into our soul, into our very being. So we have to understand and be in joy and be in the dance of life and light this way, to say thank you to the sun, to say thank you to the moon, to say thank you to the food, to say thank you to the really beautiful music, to say thank you to the air that we breathe, because it all carries a light from creation, and that creation comes from the Creator, and that comes from the beginning of time. This is to understand the essence of the light this way, because I promise you, when you pray now, and you pray for the light to keep you, and you pray for that light to grow inside you, and you pray for that light to surround you, it's going to do it in a completely different way, because you understand the transcendence of the light. You understand the essence of the light in a completely different way. And I want to leave you today with a prayer about, it's a really old prayer. And Soraya, my wife, she really uses this prayer, and I use this a lot in ceremony sometimes. It's a really good prayer to keep you safe when the shit's hitting the fan, and you need to really bring down the light and grow it inside you. It's a really good prayer, and it goes like this. The light surrounds me. The light goes through me. I am the light. The light surrounds me. The light goes through me. I am the light. The light surrounds me. The light goes through me. I am the light. Aho metakyo ayasin. Thank you for listening, guys. I'm going to ask just one thing from you. If you can, for me, guys, share this message. Share this message of light. If you really resonate with this, don't keep it for yourself. This is why I don't charge for these messages. I just post them because these are messages from Spirit. And these times, we're all going to need this. If you resonate with these messages, share them. Like this. I'm going to put this on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Like it. Comment about your experiences, about the light, about how you feel after listening to this, and share. Maybe somebody's going to get this message and they really need this in this time. Share these messages. Thank you for listening. Take care, guys. I love you all. Peace.